Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today is power ranking slash telling you who's going to win Masters Madrid using science. Now, some fan bases are going to love this one, but here we go. Here's our grid. We've got our 8 teams for Masters Madrid. Now, sadly, because you just cannot find the stats for the Chinese teams at the moment, they're going to have to go in 7th and 8th. Now, emotionally, I feel like EDG are here, but this video is about telling you who is coming in what spot, not who might come in what spot. So, bearing in mind that it might change slightly depending on the performance of EDG. I don't think FPX belong here. However, EDG could scale. So we'll just leave that to that. Now, flashing up on the screen, you'll see the graphics. It's probably on Reddit. If you go follow my Twitter, they'll be on Twitter. So hit that down below. And we're going to see who's coming where. Now, it's always hard because I've pulled 5 different stats, basically. So the graphic you'll see is about retake, 5v4s, and 4v5s. However, there are 2 maps in the map pool at the moment which don't really get banned. Gen G doesn't really play Sunset. So I've weighed Sunset and Split, which every other team, which Paper X, Carmine Core, Team Heretics, Loud, and Sentinels all happily play those 2 maps. So they're unlikely to get banned unless vetoes are good. And like Sentinels, for instance, get one of those 2 maps banned, then it might affect it. But if in a grand final, in a best of 5, Sentinel's probably going to get all those maps in if they come from the lower bracket, or the other team won't ban them because they'll want those maps in anyways. Because Split is like bread and butter Valorant for pro level teams. Anyways, so looking at all the stats that we have, Paper X, I'm sadly going to say, go in the bucket of 5th and 6th. I don't love that because I'm a fan. I think Paper X are a great team. I'm sure everyone will agree. Paper X are one of the funnest teams to watch in pro Valorant. But they just don't have the stats to back it up. They have the lowest retake percentage, whilst they have just about the highest 5v4 and quite a good 4v5. They just don't have it at the moment. Their bucket for Sunset, which I'm weighing as sort of like a tie break, it is not amazing. They only played 1 match, but their defensive win rate is now the best because they played 1 match. They played that 1 map 1 time and did really well and stumped the other team. Therefore, they have a high percentage. And whilst they have mechanically gifted players, and this is all just kickoff, so maybe they play better in Madrid and they shoot up. But from what I've seen so far, they're in the lower bucket. But the problem with them being there is now we have some of the best teams, and it's really hard to separate them all, which is why I'm using science. So out of Carmine Core, Team Heretics, Loud, Sen, and Gen G, sadly, I believe Loud also goes 5th, 6th. Now, everyone on this list, apart from Carmine Core, has about a 75% win rate in 5v4, which is great. If you get the first blood, 3 out of 4 of the times you will convert that into a round. So if you have good set plays, all the coaches are great at making set plays. Starts around, good defaults to find an early kill. I think the only sort of loose team, well, apart from Paper X, is Sentinels, where it's very much sometimes will prod and poke on attack. So that's great. Love that. So can't really weigh Loud on that. 4v5, this, they're not the best. They're not the worst. Sen's the worst on 4v5. Generally, Sen only win 1 out of every 5 rounds if they're down a player. Whereas Loud, it's 1 in 4. That's good jump. Good jump. That's not an extra round if you're getting picked apart. So can't grumble. Their retake percentage is the lowest though out of all of the remaining teams, apart from Gen G, but they do get weighted because they win around 50% of their defensive rounds just by kills before the bomb hits the bomb site, which is slightly different than other teams. But that's how they do it. However, like I was saying, the 2 maps, and they don't ban these, is Sunset and Split. They leave them open. And they do play the veto. So sometimes they will ban 1. But they have the lowest defensive win rate on Sunset out of the remaining teams, apart from Gen G, because they don't play it. And Split. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Gen G do play it, and they have a 65% win rate on defense compared to Loud's 50. And that's a tiebreaker to me that goes, okay, if Gen G and Loud were to play each other, Gen G ban Sunset, or Split, sorry. They play Sunset, and one has a better defensive half. And then attack, counter-strat it or something, Do your job. So that's what, I'm afraid that's what I allowed to say. I really had to feel like I had to make my point all right. I think Loud, they are like the caliber of team that can go higher. Like, they need to win 2 games to get out of this area. So if they counter strat like Heretics which they're known for doing really good counter strats, then it goes like that instead by a minute at least, But for the moment, it's this. So here's where I sort of fall apart, because I know who the 2 top ones are, and I think everyone does. No one's debating it. But the actual debate is whether Gen G or Team Heretics go in this sort of area, Who goes above who? Now, Team Heretics beat them on 5v4, which is fair. They beat them on 4v5, not by a great margin, but by enough of one that it sort of matters. They're not far off a percentage of 1 in 3 rounds where you're down a player, they win, which matters. That matters a lot. The retake percentage is higher from Heretics, but like I said, Gen G has like a higher win rate of defensive rounds just on kills. So I don't know how much I can weight it. But based on the stats that I'm looking at, Heretics come above. And that leaves us with 2 Goliath fan bases, Sentinels and Carmine Core. And I've thought about this a lot. And I thought, to hell with everyone else's. Look, these 2 need to just be compared as a head-to-head. Now, Split, as you saw in the Carmine Core Fnatic game, they're happy to play Split. That's fine. They'll throw down on Split. Sunset, they've thrown down on Sunset against Heretics quite a lot. Now, there's around okay, we'll look at Split. Sen have a 74.07% defensive win rate. That's on average a 9-3 half on defense. That's literally pistol on attack, anti-eco on attack. Oh, look. The game's over. Which is insane. And their anti-stratting on it has kept them going. So if Carmine Core turned up with the same funky comp, I'm sure Sentinel's coaching staff would have a field day picking that apart. Then we look at Sunset. Now, Sunset, Carmen Core are better. They've got a higher defensive win rate, 63%. But Sen have a 70% win rate. So then we go on to the other stats. You know, what retake difference do they have? Now Sen 46%. Not too bad. Carmen Core 50. You know, not much of a muchness between them. In a 12-round half, not, you know, that's fine. Not much of a difference. 5v4. Sen are better at converting 5v4s by quite a margin. 5%, I'd say, is quite a margin. That's basically a round and a half if you manage to get in that position often enough. But then we look at 4v5, and Carmen Core just vive la France. If they lose someone, they band together and they take it. 39% of 4v5 rounds are taken by Carmen Core. That's insane. That's almost half of the rounds they get 4v5, they win. That's absurd. So it's really difficult to weight these two teams together. One plays better when they have the advantage. One plays better at a disadvantage. You know, the retakes are fairly quite close together, you know, fairly close. The thing, like, so I'll bring the totals into point once. Sen allow a lot more retake situations. So there was 154 total retakes from Sentinels in kickoff, compared to Carmen Core's 136. And that could literally be the map, actually. The one extra map that was 100% played by Sentinels in the grand final. So there's a lot to weigh, and it's difficult. But sadly, my heart does not burn blue. And I think Sentinels take it. Now, I say this for one reason alone. Split win rate on defense half is absurd from Sentinels. And it's not done by just like, they know how to do it. They anti-strat their opponent's attack half so well on understanding who's lurking, the timings they're going to lurk. They set up for these retakes so well. And then to throw that around, when you're used to them playing more retake, they'll play on site. And you'll go, wait, there's 3 here? And that's the sort of level that they're playing with on Split. That you just don't know what they're going to do at any given time. They're very difficult to read because they mix it up so much. And their retakes are so well thought out. That just from that one map, if they can take that to other maps in the pool, then they're just winning. Like, they've done it with Sunset and Split. And if they do it with Sunset and Split, they can do it with other maps as well. Their Lotus is alright. I wouldn't say it's like groundbreaking. Their Lotus is alright. It's slightly better than the NA average. But I think Lotus has been a heavily EU good map for a while. Except for when Loud play people. The, you know, sends alright at Lotus. And that might be the turning point. That might be what they need. But either way, Sen City for the win, man. That's what we're getting at here. So, I appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much if you stayed till the end to see Sen City at the top. If you want to, leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. My Twitch is down below if you want to hear me peepo talk live. So, hope to see you there. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.